Safe to go live to YouTube?
I think we are live to YouTube now. So,
cool.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Awesome Hardware. This is a live show. We talk about technology. We drink some beer. Occasionally we use foul language, so watch out for that.
Shit.
Every Tuesday evening at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, we stream to twitch.tv/awesomehardware. We also stream to our YouTube channels. My channel is Paul's Hardware. Cal's channel is called Bitwit. And thanks for joining us. If you're here, I think that's all that we usually say at the beginning.
Yeah.
If you guys happen to watch our channels, you enjoy the stuff we do, feel free to help support the cause by shopping at our stores. My store is paulshardware.net, where you can find shirts and mugs and lovely pint glasses and all kinds of merchandise. So check that out. Kyle's store is over at bitwit.tech/store. He has fidget spinners as well as hats now. Yep. And shirts and lots of other cool stuff.
There's only one left of everything.
There's only one left
on
of
the
everything.
store. So buy immediately.
Fire sale.
Fire sale.
Get it while it's hot.
Only one. Only one fidget spinner left.
Really?
No. Yes. Yes, really.
Well, you should.
Hey, if AMD can do false marketing, so can I, right?
Oh yeah, that's what we're gonna dive into
pew,
today.
pew.
If you're watching us live, again, thanks for being here. The first half is on my channel, second half is going to be on Kyle's channel. You can find that link in the video description if you're watching in the future when it's not live anymore. Also, if you happen to be donating to us in chat, thank you very much for those donations. We do appreciate it. We're going to try to get to those towards the end of each half of the show. All right, let's get into our first segment.
Let's do it.
It is called Oh Joy. Oh Joy is a segment where we talk about terrible things, awful things. Usually there's no solution or everything. Or anything like that. For this week's segment of Oh Joy, I am focusing on Vega. Specifically AMD Vega.
It's gonna be good.
Because it's been out for a little bit now. It launched on the 14th, and there was a lot of wait and see when it first launched. And now there's a bunch of questions about Vega's actual price. And there's a lot of questions that reviewers have had as far as the stock that's available now and what it's selling for, not just at like your cut rate, or not cut rate, but your third party marketplace sellers and Amazon like resellers and everything like that, but actually being sold by like the likes of Newegg and stuff for these grossly inflated prices, at least if you're comparing it to the price that AMD originally told us stuff would cost right at launch. So I have a few things to talk about related to this. I'm going to try not to pull any punches here and be pretty straightforward about what we know that's going on and what you guys should be aware of and all that kind of stuff. But let's start out with one of the things that people really worried about right from the get-go with Vega, which is that what if all the cards get sold out to miners? And AMD addressed this directly to reviewers. They talked to us about it, and they said the solution to this was the Radeon packs that they sell in bundles, so you have to buy a bundle, and miners won't buy that. Now, we're going to get to the packs. We're going to come back to that. But let's start off with this.
I'll bite my tongue for now.
This little thing that slipped through. This was just after last week's live stream, actually. That AMD has actually launched a beta driver specifically tuned for cryptocurrency mining.
Wow.
Now, directly after a new product launches, something like Vega, when there's lots of driver work going on, there's a ton of work that goes up to that goes on up to the launch, and then afterwards, AMD. I mean, they touted it in some of the slides as like the AMD fine wine thing. Like we work on the drivers, and there's a lot of times in the past, there's a lot of historical precedent for AMD cards getting better performance over time with the help of driver updates. Which, if the focus was completely on gaming with the graphics cards, you think the driver updates that would be coming out, say, within 1 or 2 weeks after the card actually launches, might not be focused on mining improvements, but focused on gaming improvement. But there it is. AMD apparently catering to miners to some degree. Now, I did a Q&A video this past week where I discussed cryptocurrency mining, and I tried to lay out there some of my feelings on the matter. And I don't necessarily hate miners directly for doing what they're doing. They're going to try to make money however they can. People are going to do that. That's economics. But when you see the company like AMD, who has previously told you we want gamers to have our card and we make cards for gamers, doing stuff that seems more geared towards the miners, then it comes back to like, well, why did they tell us?
They're contradicting themselves.
Why did they give us the statement they gave us in the first place if that's actually what's going on?
Their actions speak louder than their words.
Yes. So this was a beta Crimson Relive driver. It was optimized for blockchain compute workloads. This actually specifically addressed the problem of decreasing hash rate performance with Ethereum mining as the DAG file size increases, as it does as the mining difficulty increases over time. And that is a problem that affects Polaris and Vega specifically. And Legit Reviews actually did a bit of testing on this. So if you guys are miners and that kind of thing and you want to check it out.
Is this Nate Dog?
Yeah, Nathan did some testing in there because he's on top of the mining stuff. And he did find that the drivers improved stuff a bit. Hash rate with Ethereum went from about 32 to 34, which isn't crazy or anything like that, and certainly not the 70 to 100 mega hash rate that was sort of rumored when Vega was still on the horizon and not yet launched. So on the plus side for gamers, it's not as good at mining. On the minus side, it still works for mining, and it's still a card that's available, and it's still very difficult to get a hold of. So as a result, we're seeing a lot of pricing issues. Now, when it comes specifically to the pricing issues, and we actually reached out to AMD prior to last week's episode so we could try to get some direct information from them, and they gave us some information, but it's the impression I've gotten from other reviewers and stuff like that who have also been attempting to contact AMD to clarify this has been that we're kind of getting the same line, which is the official statement. And so, thank you, AMD, for making an official statement. I've linked to Gamers Nexus article. This is, again, from close to a week ago, where they talked to AMD, got the statement from AMD, which is specifically right here, which is that Radeon RX Vega continues to exceed expectations. AMD is working closely with its partners to address this demand. Initial launch quantities included standalone Radeon RX Vega 64 at SEP, or suggested e-tail price, of $499. Radeon RX Vega 64 Black Packs with SEP $599 and Radeon RX Vega 64 Aqua Packs for $699. We're working with our partners to restock all SKUs of Radeon Vega 64, including the standalone cards and gamer packs over the next few weeks. Should expect quantities of Vega to start arriving in the coming days. Now, what they did not answer with that answer is the question of the price of the products that are available. And if you're looking at this from like a legal standpoint, as far as what they actually said legally, is that their initial launch quantities had this price. We're working to bring more cards to stock. They are not specifically saying these new cards that come in will continue to be sold at this price.
Right.
And that is where a lot of, pretty much all of the negative flack is coming at, is, as was revealed on forum posts and everything over the past week and a half, that retailers were given rebates by AMD to be able to sell the cards at the introductory price of $500 flat for a Vega 64, and when they become available in another week, that's about another week, Vega 56 should be $400. But after that, does that just go away? And if that's how they're actually pricing it, it is extremely deceptive for reviewers who have reviewed stuff, and in particularly difficult for, not to be wah-wah about it, but like for us who make videos, like our options are either to remove the video, which is basically like saying, hey, that work that you did last week, how about you not get paid for that? Which kind of sucks. It's not entirely like that, but it's kind of like that. Or that's like you can't go back like you can with a written article and just like update things or something like that. You can make a comment, you can update the description, but it's very difficult.
And it makes us look like asshats. It makes us look misinformed or even potentially deceptive ourselves. Because I'm sure that there are a lot of viewers who, when they heard about this news and caught wind of it, some of them probably thought that we were in on it, that maybe we knew this information up front, that AMD told us that there would be sort of this bait and switch pricing scheme, that that we already knew what was going on, when in fact we had no idea. We were left in the dark just as much as any other consumer. But the implications there is that it looks bad on us. It hurts our reputation or our credibility as reviewers, or whatever you want to call us. And we felt just as deceived, I think, as a lot of you guys, especially when we're the ones who are kind of being looked up to deliver the news, deliver the truth, and sort of give our honest opinions about a product. If we have the information jumbled up ourselves because it was deceptively given to us by the vendor, then it sort of makes our conclusions, the conclusions that we make in the videos that we work so hard to produce, it makes those conclusions invalid. And kind of like Paul was saying, like, we don't really have the option to edit a YouTube video once it's been posted. Of course, we could remove that video, and then obviously, there's negatives to that as well. Or we have to make a part 2, a follow-up video to our initial review, and sort of retract a lot of the things that we said about our initial conclusion. And that's kind of why I was glad, because I sort of tested Vega not as best as I could have initially in my first review video, and some people were complaining about it. So I redid the benchmarks with proper overclocking on both sides, NVIDIA and AMD, and that was fortunately after this whole pricing debacle started. So I was able to address that in the second video and tell my viewers, look, if Vega 56, for example, is going for the launch price, then this is the frames per dollar that you get, and it's probably it's potentially a better buy or equal of a good buy as a GTX 1070. But if they're going to dick you over and charge you $100 more for that after the initial stock is gone, then you're looking at a much lower FPD, and the payoff isn't as great. So, but it's stupid. It's a dick move on AMD's part. They know what they're doing, but for whatever reason, no one in the board meeting when they were deciding all this stuff raised their hand and said, "Don't you think this is kind of shady? And this is easily something that any old average viewer or consumer can look at and be like, this is super deceptive marketing, and fuck you, AMD." Nobody seemed to speak up, or at least if they did, they were not listened to, which is very unfortunate that that's how AMD marketing, at least for this launch, is being run. It's very disheartening. That's why I can understand, and I personally side with other reviewers who might be more vocal about this sort of thing than I am, and maybe even boycott certain product launches from vendors who do this sort of thing. So it's thick, bro.
Yeah.
Not the good kind.
So yeah,
I know the good kind of thick. This isn't it.
So
Carry on.
Exactly. I lost my train of thought there. All right, so I tweeted this earlier today. Newegg I actually went to Newegg to look at something else. I couldn't help but notice their daily deal was this Radeon Vega 64 for $690. Listed as a daily, look at this bargain. Look at this deal.
Was this a Newegg flash deal?
No, it's Newegg. It's like Newegg. It's just their daily deals.
Right.
It is shipped from and stocked by Newegg. So if you guys aren't familiar with the way marketplace vendors work with a retailer like Newegg or like Amazon, there is the actual inventory that is owned and sold by the retailer in their own warehouses, and then there's third-party sellers, and there's various sort of in-betweens of doing that. There's third-party sellers that are called virtual fulfillment, where it's like you list their product and they buy it from you, and then you go and say, all right, now send this off. And then there's third-party sellers that are marketplace sellers, which are a little bit more separate. And the marketplace sellers go on and they list their products or whatever, and Amazon has this, and Newegg also has this. So this is why it's often sort of challenging to look at something like Newegg listings and see prices that are way, way over what they should be. But Newegg has a radio dial, or the little button you can click that says, "Show me Newegg stock only," which is a really smart thing to click because there's so much crap and garbage that's just vomited onto there by all these third-party marketplace sellers who don't care anything about I can just spam it with crap on the site to sell, and eventually someone might click on it and buy it. So the difference is when it's shipped from and sold by Newegg, it means it's Newegg stock that was sold to them directly, that they have and that they're selling to you. And in the past, historically, when you're talking about a tier 1 retailer, someone like an Amazon or a Newegg, there are certain restrictions that can be placed on them in order to prevent selling products for more than what they're actually supposed to be sold for. So a lot of what AMD's statement was all about was we can't control these prices. We can't tell them what to sell their product for. We made a suggested e-tail price. It's just a suggestion. I also was sort of confused by the fact that they were using that term SEP, suggested e-tail price, versus
MSRP.
The more commonly known MSRP, and I have no idea if there's any legalities surrounding that when you say something has an MSRP or anything like that. But just from my history working in e-commerce, there's a very common thing called MAP pricing, or just minimum advertised price. And that was something I would hear about all the time when I worked at Newegg, and I know it's something in the industry in general. When something has minimum advertised pricing, you can't undercut it. You can't sell it for more or I'm sorry, minimum. You can't sell it
Less.
for more than what it's
more
than what it's supposed to be.
Okay. If it's
So-
a minimum price, though, that means it's the lowest it can go, right?
You're right. That means it's the lowest it can go. But
Okay.
it's still something that can be used to compel retailers to sell products for the price that they should be, is my main point
Okay.
that I'm getting at here. So it does become more challenging when you introduce stuff like marketplace vendors as well, because marketplace vendors aren't always beholden to the same rules that the retailers are beholden to. But it is disingenuous, I feel like, to say like people are just selling these for what they're selling them for, and there's nothing we can do about it. I think there is something that can be done for the retailers like Newegg and like Amazon and the ones that AMD works with directly. They can't stop people from buying the stock and relisting it on eBay or something like that, but that didn't exactly seem to jibe with my understanding of the way online retail works.
Especially if you think about like if AMD did offer these retailers some sort of rebate, which allowed them to sell the cards at a very attractive price at launch, I feel like those rebates that's still information that AMD should make transparent. At least like to the reviewers.
It should have been made transparent if that rebate was something that was altering what would be the standard price for the products.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then people are treating it as something else. If it was a special introductory price just for a few lucky first-time buyers, then that's the way it should be phrased. There are some solutions that I've seen floated around for, like, how could AMD maybe have done this better or differently? Solution one is just sell it for a higher price. If they realized at a certain point that Vega performance wasn't where it was expected to be, and they were also at least somewhat aware of the fact that coin mining is a thing and cryptocurrency mining is a thing, then they should have just listed it for a higher price and sold it, and you'd still be able to sell the cards that are selling right now, because obviously they are selling to some degree at these higher prices. And then you wouldn't have to deal with the customer flack and negative feedback from people who are pissed off that they were told one thing and then they're seeing another one, especially in the case of temporary rebates. The other suggestion is to just do what NVIDIA did. You remember NVIDIA?
Yeah, sells it Founders Edition for a little bit more expensive. Have
and
NVIDIA
partners. Came out with these, and they're like, these are going to be $100 more. Like the reference model is now $100 more than like what the actual MSRP is. And of course, we can get into a whole other argument about that and like the GTX 1070 and what it was supposed to sell for. Like it was supposed to be less than sub $400, and like it's still difficult to find for that price.
Right.
But the main point is that there are ways around this that AMD probably could have. Sort of explored, perhaps, to have prevented the flack and the backlash that they're dealing with right now. All right, so let's really quickly take a look at some of these Radeon packs. Newegg has a landing page for them with Vega and the Vega cards themselves and all that good stuff. And when you scroll down, you can see the packs themselves. And when these were actually first pitched to us, I felt like the description of them gave us the impression that they were going to be more flexible. Pardon me, because... they're not. Basically, if you want to get the most deal on your Ryzen pack, you got to get the 4-item combo, which includes
specific SKUs.
Yeah, your $100 discount on the CPU and the motherboard, and then what's supposed to be a $200 discount on the monitor. Now you'll notice here on Newegg that every single one of these Radeon packs is out of stock. However. And let me switch real quick just to double check this, because I looked at it earlier and this was the case, but I'm not sure if it still is. Oh yes, it's still there. Still there, and I forget where your back button went again.
Wow, on the front page.
Still there, on the front page, still in stock.
Good lord.
So Newegg.com, front page, daily deals. It's not even changing. It's the first one on the Flipboard too.
How dare
still
they
in
put
stock.
that under deals?
So... if there was the flexibility as far as the cards that were that have gone in, like this card is obviously in stock right now, and yet you can't buy it as part of one of these Radeon pack combos because they are fixed. They're fixed combos with fixed items in them, so that you can't mix and match.
So the packs that we're seeing these packs that were supposed to deter the cryptocurrency miners completely out of stock, and the standalone cards that AMD feared miners would snatch up first is in stock.
Is in stock.
They're in stock. Okay.
At $190 more
Yep.
than the price that it was supposed to be.
Highly inflated rate.
Also note that every single one of these packs, like the cheapest pack you can buy is $1,900. Sorry, well, $1,825
Well
to
over
be specific.
1,500.
Which
1,800, 1,900.
is a little on the expensive side. I mean, you're getting a monitor there. You got that monitor, right? When they first explained this too, I was like, hey, $200 off a monitor, that's a good deal. What if it was $200 off of like a range of monitors, and like maybe $100 off a cheaper monitor, or $200 off of a more expensive monitor?
Yeah. Who out there who's spending $2,000 on high-end desktop parts is really going to be okay with whatever specific bundle someone else has laid out for them? If
you want to be able to pick and choose.
Yeah, for $2,000, I'm picking
best
every
for you.
single part that works for me best. I don't want to be limited to just one monitor or just, one CPU or even like 5 CPUs. Like, let me pick out every single thing and, still give me a rebate for it.
Yeah, and I agree that, like, if it had that kind of flexibility, granted, there's a lot there. I can understand explaining challenges there, like working with different vendors like Newegg to make this sort of thing work on their website, so you can pick and choose things and then apply a discount or something like that. That's challenging. That's difficult. But to be fair, this was clarified a little bit more early on, and although we were sort of told that here's the monitor that you get with the pack, but there might be other ones available, I have not seen any other ones available. And one final comment about this monitor, and this was first pointed out to me or mentioned, I believe, by Brad Sharkus at the actual event in LA for Vega and Threadripper that we went to prior to launch. He immediately pulled up the price of this monitor, which is the Samsung CF791, a 34-inch curved widescreen FreeSync monitor.
Hold on, volume lowered?
Huh?
Everyone's going crazy over audio. All of a sudden, they just said it got super quiet out of nowhere.
How's that possible?
I changed nothing.
We've literally just been sitting here.
I touched nothing. Is your soundboard dying?
Paul's drifting away.
Volume is fucked.
Oh, damn it.
What?
Telling you, man. Fickle. This soundboard is super fickle.
It is challenging.
Let's try boot and...
I should be talking so people can hear if there's any different. All right. It's buzzing again. But it did get lower. Stop the buzz.
Lower?
It's a beam of light. It's the beam of light from the window. What?
It did get lower, you said? Just now?
No. Oh gosh. It's just a mess of chaos in chat right now. It's very difficult to. I see some people saying it's perfect. I see other people saying their ears are bleeding. And I believe their children have committed suicide.
Oh boy.
What?
We are not liable. Not liable, people.
All right.
Nothing.
Hello, static.
Static. Okay.
Noise is up, but also is volume. Volume is up again, but more noise than before.
More noise.
Sounds good to me. Kyle. There is buzzing. Fake news.
Do you want me to cheer?
There's a humming noise.
Do you want me to try changing the cable again? Because that worked last time.
It's not the AC. The AC is not on. Changing what?
The USB cable.
But this one was working, right? You didn't change it since then, right?
No, I haven't.
I wouldn't expect it to suddenly fail. Like a crappy USB cable not working, yeah. This USB cable suddenly going from working perfectly fine to like not.
Unless it's the USB port on the mixing board that's faulty.
That could be it too.
Because how often do USB cables fail, really?
I'm not sure.
Do you want me to try unplugging it and plugging it back in? Do you want to give them a warning? Or you can just mute the mic for a split second. mute the mic and XSplit.
Oh, okay.
I'll unplug and replug things back in, and then you can go back.
Guys, we're gonna try to unplug and replug back in. So I'm gonna mute the mic. So hopefully you guys don't go deaf. Hello.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
How's it now? Can you guys hear me? The frame rate dropped for a second. I believe that was XSplit doing something in the background. 3 FPS, yes. Ear bleed, kinda loud, still background noise. Rip, yay, good, my ears. That's
Heather,
fine.
can you get me a beer?
Background
please?
noise.
Any beer's fine.
Can hear good. Still bad. Perfect.
Perfect. Humming.
Good enough.
Noise. Good. It's fine. Most
My
people say it's
God.
fine. 7 out of 10.
It is such a crazy mashup of various responses. It's very difficult to
I know.
determine what exactly.
Let's see, what are
people
we at right
hearing.
now? 1900. Okay. I wonder, is there anything like small that's vibrating near the system? No? Or near the mic, I guess?
Doubt it.
It's fine. Dude, maybe it's time for a new soundboard?
Potentially.
One thing we haven't really changed out. Well, most people seem okay with it. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's
Just
something
roll
that
it
we're
for now.
gonna fix or get perfect like here while we're live. So
Yeah.
should probably just press on. What?
Someone just said, "What did he do? It's low again." What? Quiet again? What? Seriously, man? Hold on. What now?
Hi guys. So yeah, how about now, guys? Is that any better? Somebody said leave it. Yeah, I think we're okay.
Okay.
Let's go ahead.
Cool. Sorry if it's not perfect, guys, but best we can do right now live.
If it's not,
Hang in there.
If it's not, we can just keep talking, and we'll just be talking to ourselves, and that's fine.
Yep.
All right. So the point I was trying to make a few moments ago is that the Samsung CF9 791 series monitor, which is currently part of this deal to get a couple $100 off of, had actually dropped down in price a decent amount compared to original pricing. Like this is $900, this is $800, and around June and July, and particularly from in the middle of July, it had gotten down to as low as $700. Oh, I'm sorry, $720 was the lowest price, but $750, and now it's back up to about $950. So that was one of the things that kind of bounced back as part of the issues with that. So anyway, let's move on. I think we've covered that enough. Here's one last thing for Ojoy. Verizon's good unlimited plan is now 3 bad unlimited plans, and basically if you have Verizon's unlimited plan, you can still use it, but if you're signing up for it new, you are now limited to 3 options. Go Unlimited, which starts at $75 for a single line, Beyond Unlimited, which is $85 for the first line, and then Business Unlimited. You do have to sign up for paper-free billing and autopay to enable that, otherwise you pay $5 more a month. But these new plans go into effect tomorrow on August 23rd, and there are some pretty significant restrictions with them if you're used to unlimited. The word being unlimited, meaning unlimited, it has significant limitations. In particular, you could experience reduced speeds due to network congestion at any time. It's not the type of thing where you can use data up to where you have a cap, and then and then you get throttled. It can happen at any time if the network is congested. Also, your video streaming is very limited, and that sucks. So, especially for the initial plan, the Go Unlimited, you can only do 480p DVD quality streaming on smartphones, and HD or 720p video streaming on tablets. And there's no way to watch in high resolution at all. So there's just no way to get high resolution video streaming. You can get slightly better resolution on your phone if you go up to the Beyond Unlimited plan. And then you do have some limitations on hotspots. If you're on the standard plan, your hotspot's limited to 600 kilobits per second, although the data's unlimited. Although at that speed, like, how are you really gonna use up all that data? So yeah, basically they're significant. The hell was that? Basically, they're significantly reducing the capabilities of their unlimited plans, and they're still calling them unlimited plans. And there's some potential net neutrality issues in there as well, but for now, let's just move on. Next segment is going to be mail time, so let's quickly open up some packages that have shown up. I have them right here. First package
Mail time
is from
Jerry.
Bigler. Bigler. This is from Bigler.
Bigler.
So, let's see what's going on in here.
Bigler the Stickler.
It looks like...
Why is audio so... People are... It's good.
Wow.
It's fine.
All right.
Did you guys eat beer?
Yes.
Did you try using the intercom?
I intercommed you.
I know, I didn't hear because we were on different channels.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
Both of you or just you?
You want beer, Paul?
Sure, I could have another one.
Yeah, one for each of us.
Okay, if you need more, just do it.
Okay.
And I'm on channel 1.
Cool.
Or 2, I mean.
Cool. He has his own logo.
All right, so this is from Jason. He's from Montano. Sorry, I'm trying to browse over this really quick. He has a tuxedo flamingo shirt that he has sent over, which is a flamingo in a tuxedo, which seems very appropriate since we're going to do Pimp My PC on Kyle's half of the show. I should put that on. This is his brand, Tuxedo Flamingo. It's what he's been working on.
Sexy.
He's at Tuxedo Flamingo on Twitter if you want to follow him. So
Wait, so is it a tuxedo business or a flamingo business?
I'm not sure. I would imagine
Do those
you would dabble in both. You'd probably want to have a wide range.
That'd be the perfect name if you did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So he included some pictures. He created a Tuxedo Flamingo build in an NZXT Manta, which also looks pretty sweet. I can kind of show you guys, but I'm imagining
Whoa.
it's...
He's
yeah.
played around with the fluid a bit. Oh no, wait. These are different systems.
I think this might be an evolution over time. Or is this different systems?
Yeah.
If I had read the entire letter, I probably would do that, but I'm afraid that we're already running pretty late today, so
Yep.
I don't have time for all that. But thank you so much for sending that shirt over.
Yay.
All right. Next up, actually, I should mention the mystery. We have a mystery to solve, right?
We have a mystery. Yes.
Okay, we got a letter from a guy, and he sent a picture that I believe is a printout that he wanted us to sign. And he basically wrote a really nice letter. However, the actual letter, the return address label got peeled off somehow in shipping or something like that. I think it was a sticker one, and it's not there.
Yep.
So, if you wrote this letter to us and you're watching the show, we would like to sign this and send it back to you. However, we don't have your address. So tweet to us with your name and what else you put in this envelope, and we'll get in touch with you hopefully and be able to sign this and get it back to you.
Yep.
All right, that's the mystery we need to hopefully solve. Moving along, Nathan from Oregon. Here we go.
Oregon.
Maybe.
Hey, I bet Nathan
this
saw
is-
the eclipse.
I imagine he might
Nathan
have.
had a good view of the eclipse.
That's something that's hard to miss if you're in that area.
Indeed.
I realized during the eclipse that I completely forgot how to build one of those eclipse viewer things.
Eclipse viewer. Oh, the little
Yeah,
pinwheel
thing.
thingy.
All right, Nathan, it looks like has sent a CPU. So here we go.
What?
Hey, Paul and Kyle, nothing personal written, so don't worry about reading this on stream if you'd like. Before you get too excited about the CPU, it's completely dead.
Aw.
It's a dead CPU with a
No.
B85 board, and he was overclocking it, but and then it died, I guess.
What?
Oh, a chip is dead due to the motherboard he bought, a Z87M from Gigabyte in January, which had a short that killed the CPU and the motherboard.
No.
That kind of sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
It's a 4670K.
Anyway, so
CPU.
he has sent it over to us so we can add it to the dead CPU collection.
I have one of
The
those.
board killed off 2 CPUs of his. That really sucks. This
Jeez.
4670K was OEM. He couldn't get a warranty replacement for it. Huge fan of all the content. Have one question for you guys that maybe you can answer. Why are there no monitor-mounted shotgun microphones for gaming?
Monitor-mounted shotgun microphones. That's a
good-
great
that's a good question.
idea.
Um,
You should not have told us in the world about that, and you should have brought it on Shark Tank.
Yeah, that's a
and
good
made-
idea.
Made millions.
If there's any vendors watching, maybe that's something they can consider. Like the swing arms for the monitor mounts, like for streaming, those are pretty popular. But excuse me, something specifically made to
Mount on your
mount
monitor.
to a monitor could be pretty cool. So this is, and Nathan sent his dead 4670K. Thank you, Nathan.
May it rest in peace.
Indeed. Hopefully it
It was a good CPU.
hopefully it rendered some good frames. All right. We did have another
Crunch
box
some
that
numbers.
arrived down here, but person asked very specifically not to do any of it on stream. So
So let's do it on stream.
this is, I'm gonna
Never
honor
add.
their wishes.
Never put instructions along with your care packages to us
Yeah.
because we will not follow them. We do not.
Surprised.
We're not the type of people to
Had
read the
enough
manual
time
often.
to read that ahead of time. All right, the final package here for mail time comes all the way from jolly old England.
England.
Yes.
Ooh,
and
there's a
this is,
smell to that. Oh,
It smells delicious.
I know
this
what it
is
is.
yet another package
I know
from
what it is.
our friend Adrian from England. So this is for me and my wife. And I believe that means this one is for you,
yeah, boy.
for Kyle and Heather,
Thank you, Adrian.
and this would be fudge.
Yes. I love you,
And
Adrian.
My life is now
Yo,
a little
Adrian.
bit more complete.
Oh my
So,
God. What flavors did you get?
Oh, I got 2 flavors.
Ooh, and a postcard
Oh, and a postcard from.
to Kyle and Heather.
Exeter?
Congratulations on all of your achievements. Thank you both for making me love you. No, wait. Laugh. Thank you both for making me laugh so much. May the future be full of happiness. Yeah. And success for you both. Adrian. What a lovely little postcard. Thank you so much, Adrian. We will continue.
He said, Paul and Diana, thank you for the
Making you
laughs,
laugh.
the chat, and for the. Adrian, I can't read your handwriting. Something about moments with us and the dogs. I hope you continue to love life and each other for many decades to come. We will. Thank you so much. This is Rolly's Fudge.
God.
We got honeycomb here as well as
too.
vanilla clotted cream.
I got honeycomb and the coffee and cream.
Oh,
so.
coffee and cream. So
Both very good
it's
picks.
delicious. If you're ever in Exeter, check. Wait, it's not in Exeter. It's in. No, it is in Exeter.
Exeter,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
it's in Exeter. So check it out if you're from the UK. If you're in that area. All right, that's all for mail time. Let's finish off my half of the show with some news. We're gonna start with this little bit about Final Fantasy 15. I kind of vaguely started to play Final Fantasy 15. Is your mouse dead?
It's in and out. So
Okay.
Carry on.
I
Don't
tried to
mind
get
me.
my wife to play Final Fantasy 15. She kind of fell off, but maybe now that it's coming to PC, I can get her back into it or something like that. Probably not. But if you are an RPG fan, JRPG fan, I guess more specifically,
Japanese.
then perhaps you might be interested in Final Fantasy 15. It's coming to PC. It's going to support resolutions up to 8K, which is pretty cool. Native 4K all the way up to 8K. The gameplay is basically the same, so there's not really much changed when it comes to that. However, they did vastly increase the resolution. They have not listed minimum specs. They've added a first-person mode as well, so you can play in first-person mode. And there's a pretty cool trailer that you guys can check out via the linked article. One of the, just functionally, things that they've done is they've added NVIDIA Hairworks and turf effects. So there's grass, and then like these like the big moose things and whatever that you attack. They now have hair. They have much more realistic hair. So that's
Prepare for many performance videos, detailing the
yeah. I don't know.
impact.
I don't know if this might become something to use for benchmarking or not, but potentially.
Cool,
Next up, Intel has. Intel has. I don't know if this is a leak or what, but it's over on Tech Power Up, and we have some pictures of the retail boxes for the 8th generation Intel Core i5 and i7 processors.
Their boxes are getting uglier.
Look at that. Look at that.
They're getting so much uglier.
They're embracing like the 80s vibe thing. Right?
Yeah, right?
It's
Kind of like a neon sort of retro throwback.
I guess.
I'm not sure what's going on over there, Intel. They fired all their artists quit.
Yeah.
All the designers.
Well, that's i5. What about the i7?
That looks
Look at that.
exactly the same, except
It's a little pinker with sort of some warm oranges going in there as well.
still ugly.
I noted in the comments somebody had inverted it.
It looks better like that.
They're like, yeah, that looks a lot. It still doesn't look cool, but it looks
Looks better. I'd take the white one.
a little bit better.
They should have for an limited, inverted edition.
So I feel there's a slightly less enthusiastic reaction to these retail boxes than the Threadripper ones, but Threadripper retail boxes, I mean, I kind of see both sides when it comes to like getting excited about a retail box. It's a little silly, but Threadripper there was some things inside it that made it slightly more interesting. Like you get a Torx tool in there to mount it with, and you get a bracket for Ace Tech. There was a couple extras in there. Whereas these, I'm imagining, at least if they're going to be K-SKUs, they're not even going to have heatsink fans in them, so it's just a CPU in a box.
Yeah.
So yeah, nothing to get too crazy excited about, I would say. But there is some information that can be gleaned from them. These are 14 nanometer Coffee Lake CPUs that we've been talking about in the past few weeks and months, as they've been rumored. They're going to have up to 6 cores. The integrated graphics cores in the CPUs are now going to be branded Intel UHD Graphics 6XX series, so 600 series. So the fact that they're saying UHD could mean that they have hardware accelerated decoding of newer video formats, for example, such as 10-bit VP9 at 4K. So that might have something to do with the integrated video decoder, which has been a very functional part of Intel's mainstream CPU lineup for quite some time since they started integrating that, which was back in is that Sandy Bridge, right? I think it might have been Ivy Bridge. I forget.
I don't remember.
Anyway. But yes, that's kind of cool. Might also have compatibility with new display connectors, such as HDMI 2.0 and DisplayPort 1.4. This is specifically talking about the iGPU capabilities, so, not quite as exciting for people who are going to be building a desktop system. But if you're talking about something like the mobile
side.
versions of these processors,
Sure.
which I believe Intel had a thing yesterday during the eclipse, and I think it was a bad idea. Well, I don't know if it's just personal experience or not. I know nothing about what they actually announced yesterday.
Neither do I.
I think it was mostly mobile processor stuff.
Yeah.
But there wasn't even that much of usually when I'm looking up stuff to talk about on the show, there's whatever big news you can find without looking too hard.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really see much about it, but we'll
They
bring
didn't
more
say much about
to
it.
you guys as it becomes available.
It's mobile,
I'm
whatever.
sure. But yeah, it did say they will require motherboards based on the Intel 300 series chipset, though, even though their socket is still LGA 1151, and I believe we're going to talk about that more on Kyle's side of the show, as far as compatibility with the Coffee Lake CPUs.
No, not really.
Oh, we're not?
No, I
Never
deleted
mind.
that story.
Oh, he deleted that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it appears that all the rumors, horrible rumors, are true, and yes, you will need a new motherboard for a Coffee Lake processor.
Yep.
The 8000 series, 14 nanometer stuff from Intel. All right, couple more quick stories to go over here. One, just a quick new product that launched today. The Corsair Void Pro RGB wireless. This is the special edition.
Ooh.
That PC Perspective actually looked at.
It's
So
Bumblebee.
this is in yellow, so yellow accents. You can also get it in non-special edition, where it's just kind of more of black and silver, if that's not your thing. Now, the Void series of headsets has been developed by Corsair for quite some time. They expanded it with Pro. Now they have Void, Pro, Wireless, RGB, all integrated into this The review here from PC Perspective, I will briefly summarize, although again, of course, this was all the stuff we talked about. Links in the description if you guys want to check out the whole thing. But it was pretty positive overall. Solid build quality, very comfortable, no plastic creaking, even though there is a combination of plastic and metal that it's made out of. It's got 50mm neodymium drivers. And they compared it specifically to the Logitech G433. They did say that the Logitech headset offered better clarity and a very balanced sound, but that the Corsair Void Pro RGB had more warmth and a bit more bass. So he said he liked the Logitech G433, but it's a matter of preference. If you like your sound a little darker and more powerful, then the signature of the Void Pro might be something that you prefer. There were no complaints, as far as I saw in the article, as far as wireless connectivity and quality, so that's just fine. I believe it's a 2.4 gigahertz spectrum device. And the mic, they also mentioned specifically, since mics are becoming a little bit more of something that you should be concerned about when it comes to a headset. And they were complimentary of the mic. It's unidirectional and noise canceling, and he said the noise canceling was impressive, but there's still a phone-like quality to the sound that's pretty typical of gaming headsets. You guys are probably familiar with that. So it's not like a night and day. Suddenly you can replace your Blue Yeti or something like that with it. But
What's the price?
Good question. Usually I say that, and I did not.
Just
note
curious.
it.
I think probably like what, 120, 100?
$129.99.
Wow, I'm pretty good.
For the special edition.
Okay,
If you just want the standard, it's
For $100.
$100
Hundo.
on Amazon.
That's fair.
And it did get the coveted PC Perspective Gold Award.
Oh,
Yes, super blingy. All right, one last item to talk about here, and I don't have notes for this, so it's going to be really quickly. But Samsung, this is a Hexus.net article, Samsung has launched the world's largest QLED gaming monitor. It is 49 inches.
This one.
Which seems to be
Big boy.
absolutely monstrous. I
Big
believe,
boy!
I believe we talked about this on the show before when it was more rumored. Now it's becoming a little bit more of an actual thing. 32 by 9 aspect ratio. It's HDR, has a maximum refresh rate of 144 hertz, but it can also do 60 or 120. 1800R curvature, 3840 by 1080 pixel resolution across the 49 inches. It's a really large
Good Lord.
and wide monitor. QLED.
The thing about that though is like I wouldn't want to do anything else on it other than game.
Yeah?
I wouldn't even want to like browse. Like I'd be annoyed with the extra space on the
mean,
sides.
if
I
you-
don't want to like turn my neck.
If you're, it's like, let's say you're using a 2-monitor setup for work or something like that. You wouldn't prefer something like this, and you don't have the bezel in the middle or anything, or do you like the?
I like the bezel in
You
the
like
middle.
the separation,
I like that
so you can
partition.
kinda
That's one area
from
where I
one
like
side to the
I like
other.
that sort of partition when there's two
Yeah.
monitors. But to each their own.
So
Some people might think this is a godsend.
This does not appear to be going to the U.S. It says the Samsung CHG90, which is the model, is available throughout Europe after Gamescom, because Gamescom is going on right now. No pricing information, however, is available. I
It's
imagine
also-
it's going to be expensive.
It's also kind of lame that it's 49 inches, but still only 3440 by 1080.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have been. They would have sweetened the deal quite a bit. They might have sold me if they increased the resolution to like
Say
a
if whatever
expanded.
whatever the 1440
Yep, equivalent
vertical equivalent is
Yeah.
at 32 by 9.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have
Relative.
been nicer.
Yeah.
Like the 21 by 9 monitors that are 1080 vertical are you miss out on some of that resolution.
Indeed.
Okay, that pretty much wraps it up for my planned portions of the show. We're going to really quickly answer some questions that may have been asked with donations in the comments, so we're going to try to go through these quickly.
Yep.
We've been getting tons of these, and they're taking up a pretty significant amount of time at the end of the show, so
Indeed.
our apologies if we can't invest quite as much time into each one.
Yep.
But first off, Tom's Bremsmits with 50 knock. What's your thoughts on HDR for gaming, and would you like to try my beer from home country Latvia? Yes, I would like to try your beer.
Yep.
And
Send it to us.
I think anything that gives you better image quality is going to be great for gaming. However, of course, the question will be what kind of impact it might have on performance. But yeah, I'm stoked for HDR for gaming.
Yeah, me too.
That's pretty cool. Checker Tile Lol.
$10.
$10. Kyle and Paul, I bought an Asus a B350 motherboard, I'm guessing.
Okay, yeah.
An Asus, Prime. Asus Prime,
Prime.
B350.
Aha.
It doesn't support SLI. I have a 1070. Should I sell and buy a Vega so I can upgrade to 2 or nah? It's Paul's 1070 and Ryzen 1600 build if he remembers it. Yeah, I did do that build. That's a good build. I would say no, hang on to your 1070 because your Vega upgrade options are not looking super hot right now. If you're going to upgrade to anything, practically speaking right now, upgrading to a 1080 Ti, single GPU would probably be your best bet. And, your Ryzen 1600 should still be able to keep up with that just fine. Thank you so much for your donation.
Mm-hmm.
Automatic Matt, $10. Thanks, Automatic Matt, for your automatic donation.
Automatic mode.
Hey guys, on the road, can only donate on a shitty laptop. I'm taking my brother's PC I built to him at college. I've got no box, and it's got an all-in-one. Should I remove both the GPU and AIO for transport? AIOs are usually okay. The GPU, I would recommend pulling out.
Yeah.
Although, if you're bringing it personally, like...
You said I recommend pulling out.
Yeah, you guys got to pull out.
wanna
It's
make-
not a universally
Put that out there.
effective method, but it's worked for me.
It's fine.
Yes. Pull the GPU out, but I mean, if you're delivering it yourself and you know what's in there, and only you are going to be handling it, and you're not like giving it to some movers who are going to like toss it or anything like that, then it's probably fine. Felix Montelongo, $15. Thank you so much.
Montelongo.
Will a SLI 1080 bottleneck at 1600X on 3440 by 1440 60 Hz to 100 Hz? The answer there is yes in certain situations. You can almost always get X GPU to bottleneck on Y CPU, depending on the settings you're using and that kind of thing. However, your 1600X I think you'll be pretty good with. There are, of course, the out there benchmarky situations where you could say, a 7700K might get you a few extra frames, that kind of thing. But I think for your purposes, you'll be just fine. But yeah, make sure you have a Z370 motherboard. Cell processing, $10. Cell, why are you donating? Don't donate.
Stop it, Sal.
Hey Paul, I love you in the way a man can love another man, but without the butt stuff. Keep up all the good work. Cell, thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, why not
And
the
I
butt
hope-
stuff?
I hope, Cell, that you didn't actually donate. You just put that in the doc because you could easily have done that.
Yeah.
Which I would probably I'd respect that a lot.
Yep.
But no, Cell, thank you. You're freaking awesome.
Thanks, dude.
Automatic Matt again with another $5. Also, Kyle, more Asian words of wisdom on a Puerto Rican Irish hybrid.
You know what? That's weird. That's exactly the accent that I'm currently working on.
A Puerto Rican Irish hybrid?
Yep. I've been wanting to nail that one down for so long. Puerto Rican Irish hybrid. It's like my, it's like my holy grail.
That's what I would aim for as well.
It'll come out when the time's right.
All right. Lincoln Thurber with a $20 donation and no comments. So we will say thank you very much, Lincoln, for your donation. And that's about all we can say there. Toby Wong with £5 donation. PCGamesN.com with a actual link. Vendors are spinning bullshit because stocks are limited and they can get away with it. He's posting a link to a PC Games N article. Let's see if we can pull that up after the show and take a closer look. Jujubes with $5. Starting a new project in November. Primary use is running Adobe CC Suite, light streaming, and gaming. 1700X or 1800X is it worth plus $100. Your 1% female viewer. Hey, that's awesome. I
Sweet.
think I'm at 2%.
I'm at 2.
Just clarify that.
Maybe.
I do think I'm at 2%. Jujubes, if you're at all comfortable with just a little bit of overclocking, I would say stick with that 1700X. You still get the XFR. They overclock just fine. It's the same CPU underneath, and you can get pretty much the equivalent performance to an 1800X and save a few bucks in the process. And that would be my recommendation for you. And that's a great use for Adobe Creative Cloud and some light streaming for sure. Tim Brooks, $20. If I'm going to spend $2K on a combo pack, why not give us the option of a Threadripper CPU motherboard monitor combo? Thoughts?
Those two premature. I think Threadripper didn't come until
Yeah.
after they had already didn't come until after AMD had already sort of did all these deals and stuff with all the involved vendors with like Samsung and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I mean, I guess they could have done
I
it
can
with
see it
themselves.
happening.
I think just because they really wanted to keep pushing Ryzen, I think they probably felt like that was more attainable for the masses because it is more or less the mainstream platform.
It lines up a bit more with the GPUs and everything. Because Threadripper, they're
Yeah.
not really selling. I mean, granted, there's a ton of gaming Threadripper motherboards and stuff. Because
Yeah.
motherboard manufacturers are going
It's
to do that.
heavily focused on
But it's
workstation
really,
stuff.
yeah, gaming is really not like.
You don't need Threadripper to game.
You can use
awesomely.
it to game.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's interesting. Like, I feel like the packs are kind of, they've lost a lot of their viability in general, but, you know, people might be into that. If it was something they could set up easily, I'd be interested to see if they were able to make any sales that way, I guess. Jessica Gifford, $5 donation. This must, if this is actually a Jessica, it might be another part of our 2%
all
female.
2 of our female
Yeah.
viewers.
It's all of them. Is it safe to run an AIO cooler 24/7, or is it better to use an air cooler? Plan on overclocking an R5 1600X and an H440 or Meshify C. Any cooler suggestions?
You can run it 24/7.
Yeah.
I mean, they're intended to run until whenever. Like they just, yeah. You're not supposed to like turn them off or whatever. Like they should. A good AIO will last you
At least
its warranty.
at least
period.
2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
A lot of them will run longer than that. Just when you're running an AIO long term, just listen to it. Pay attention to the noise it makes. If you notice it making a significantly different noise than it's made in the past for you, maybe keep a closer eye on it and consider that your pump might be failing. Because in my experience, they tend to give sort of a death rattle when they're on their way out.
You can check your temps too.
Yeah, temperatures, keep an eye on those as well. But yeah, they're fine for 24/7 use.
Overclocking an R5 1600 in a H440 or Meshify C. Any cooler suggestions? Like cooler like for AIO coolers? Corsair, EVGA, NZXT,
Enermax.
Enermax. A lot of them are, Asetek OEM, so
Yeah.
they're more or less the same. Just depends on what kind of unique features you want between each one. Some can be maybe moderately quieter or moderately cooler than others, but for the most part, they all perform within a pretty close margin.
Yeah.
So,
Gareth Blundell. Gamers Nexus recent report on Vega 56 shows a hard limit of 300 watts. Do you think AIB partners will increase this so I can push the overclock higher? Gareth, that's a very good question. If that is a specific limitation that AMD has set, because Vega 56 is based on the exact same GPU die as Vega 64, they might have done that to prevent a Vega 56 from suddenly being able to overtake a Vega 64 based on an unlimited overclocking capability. So I think this is probably not something that we're going to see opened up for people, because it's just they're going to cannibalize the market for their Vega 64,
right.
which they've already done a great job putting a damper on, I guess, already, as we've discussed on this half of the show. But yeah, if that's the way that AMD has decided that they're going to segment that chip, I don't see that suddenly being lifted for add-in board versions. Ben Eckert, although Gamers Nexus has done some BIOS hacking and that kind of thing, which has been somewhat interesting. Ben Eckert's $10. I'm building a 6850K rig. I have an Asus Strix GTX 1070. Would like to use Aura Sync. Any suggestions or thought on a nice Asus motherboard in the $300 to $450 range?
What about the motherboard that you just? Oh wait, no, that's a Z270, isn't it?
Yeah, so you're gonna want an
X299. Oh no, X99. No, X2. Yeah, no wait. X99.
X.
Why are you blinking right now?
Why are we both having the same brain fart? I was staring at you because I was like, maybe he'll figure out. And then it won't.
It's not X199.
It's
What?
X299.
It's X299, right?
That's a.
God.
No, it's X99.
Is it?
Wow.
It's X99.
It's X99. It's X99.
God damn it.
I'm not insane. I haven't gone crazy. It's X99.
It's weird when they bring up like a last generation part and you have to remember like, all right, what chipset does that belong to?
Yeah.
Because there have been so many freaking launches. There's X399
The
now.
only chips on X299 are the 77,000 series
Yeah.
chips.
Okay.
We're professionals.
Deluxe. The X99
Yeah,
Asus
the
Deluxe.
the Deluxe is a good
a
option.
solid choice.
Deluxe 2, I would say. Go
Deluxe
for the
2.
Deluxe 2 over the Deluxe 1. I think it's got a little bit better options, especially if you're talking about Aura Sync and RGB compatibility and everything.
There's the Sabertooth X99.
Yeah.
I like Sabertooth boards.
Yeah, the Strix, I believe there's also an RG version that you might look into there as well.
Yeah.
But either of those, depending on whether you want a dark look or the black and white stuff that the mainstream series has with the Deluxe. or the not mainstream, but just the deluxe. All right, Tony B, $5. Hey guys, I'm in the process of building my first PC. Looking at a Ryzen 5 1600 with a 1070. What B350 motherboard would you recommend? Best bang for the buck.
I'm sure
What
that
do
there
you
are
think?
many that will get the job done, no problem. The one that I've had the most experience with is the Asus Prime B350 Plus. That seems to be a pretty solid board. I've used it for a lot of testing, and the BIOS is really easy to use, and it's pretty stable. I've had good luck overclocking, good luck with memory. It has frequent BIOS updates and that sort of thing. But again, do your research. I'm sure there's plenty of other B350 motherboards out there that are good.
Yeah, I've used that one a decent amount too, so that's a good option. But I mean, Asus MSI and Gigabytes, ASRock as well. I think they all have some good options in there. So just take a look at what looks best to you, what matches with the rest of your stuff. Take a look at reviews and see what people are responding with and everything. And finally, Heather.
What?
Why is your wife
Why
donating
is
to me?
wifey so? God damn it.
Kyle's wife has donated $5. Here's my weekly donation because Paul is greater than Kyle. Love wifey sauce. Thank you,
Wow.
wifey sauce.
Wow.
Damn.
I feel loved.
I feel
Happy
like
2-year anniversary.
I'm gonna have to buy your wife a drink when we go to dinner after
Beautiful
the show.
wife.
Thanks, Heather. All right, Dazuri with a $20 donation. I'll be watching the second half of the stream. Should I plan on being able to hear that half? LOL, love you guys. Go sound, Daz. Thank you, Daz. I hope the sound is at least somewhat legible,
Yeah.
listenable,
Sorry about that, guys.
hearable. It's okay. We muddled through somehow. Rice and cocoa, $5. I have a case of brewery beers. That's pretty close to here. But don't trust shipping companies with handling a dozen 1.5 liter beers. Will your PO box be willing to hold onto it? If we get packages that are too large, at least to my PO box, it still can come in.
Yeah.
They give me a little slip and they hold the package back behind stuff, and then I have to bring them up the
Yeah,
slip, and
same.
that's how they give me the thing. So
Yeah, it
yeah,
shouldn't
that's
be a
still
problem.
okay. But yeah, make sure you pack those well, especially if they're big beers. Clint Flippo, $10. He says balls.
Balls.
I agree.
Yes.
Earl Walker Jr.,
Exactly.
$5. Please review this card, the Aorus GeForce GTX 1080 Ti Waterforce WB Extreme Edition 11G.
No.
I mean, I could ask. I don't know. I feel like I've reviewed enough 1080 Ti's. It's like, here's another 1080 Ti.
Then again, you could always use another
I mean,
1080 Ti.
I don't mind more 1080 Ti's. I run short on them sometimes.
Christopher Calvary, $5. Y'all's videos on the Meshify C inspired me to build my first ever PC.
Oh, cool.
Thoughts on the Deus Ex aesthetic with the angular black case and gold RGBs? Yes or no?
I
Wow.
agree with the
Pretty
angular
specific.
black case. That lines up well.
Very
I think with
tessellated,
the
yeah.
Deus Ex aesthetic. Gold RGBs, I would think it'd be a challenge.
What
You
does
might
gold
have-
RGBs mean?
I mean, you're talking about RGB LEDs and then setting them to a gold
If
color.
you yellow or yellowish
But yeah, you
orangish.
probably have to mess around with that.
Yellowish orange tends to make the more accurate gold
Yeah,
color.
That can be a challenging tint to get. Just make
Yeah.
sure that all of your LEDs are like the same kind of LEDs, so there's no discoloration between them. Because
Mhm.
if you're going for a single color, that can be difficult to hit if you have multiple kits or that kind of thing.
Yep. Sir Backstab.
But 10,000
W. I've never
Ws.
seen that icon before.
10,000 big W's.
You looked that up, Paul. Hey guys, doing a Ryzen 1700X build with a GTX 1080 Ti next month, or two, just waiting on my case and motherboard to release. Will y'all be doing a half 500p and
Oh,
Crosshair
it's a
6
wand.
Hero Extreme review later?
This is from South Korea.
Oh,
South Korean won.
cool. Awesome. That's pretty sweet. I will be doing a half 500p build,
It's about $10.
which would be fun. Crosshair 6 Hero Extreme, no plans right now, but I'll keep my options open. And yeah, congrats on your build. Hopefully it goes smoothly.
Yeah, I should have a half 500 coming in. They have the Cosmos as well. I told them no on the Cosmos. It's too big. Are you? I mean, like literally, it's too. I have.
Yeah.
I do
No,
not have
I'm totally with you on that.
space.
It is a space thing too.
Not because I think it's a bad case.
Of course
because
not.
it's too big. It's
Too
too
big.
big, and I don't have room for it.
Yep.
Anyway,
Bite My Bits, $5
$5
for your taco fun.
Thank you so much.
Now we gotta go get some
Thanks,
tacos.
Bite My Bits.
Agnot Watt.
Good coverage on the Plex stuff
Yes.
recently.
Indeed. Oh yeah. True.
Agnot.
Agnot Watt.
Agnot.
Agnot Watt. $10. Paul, say Melissa, stop playing South Park already.
Melissa, stop playing South Park already.
Yeah, Melissa.
That's a game that I started playing and was enjoying, and then I just kind of stopped playing. It'd be cool to play that again. Kid Rock.
120 rupees. Indian rupees, I think.
rupees.
Best wishes from India. What are your expectations of power consumption on Raven Ridge APUs, especially mobile chip of the same? Wish I had a beer too now. Power consumption of the Raven Ridge APUs? Particularly the mobile?
I mean, it's tough to say. It's using... Did I completely skip that? I completely skipped that.
Oh, I thought you intentionally skipped it.
No, I didn't.
Oh. Well...
That's one of the stories... All right, we better finish my half.
Okay.
By talking about that.
6:45.
Because it's one of my headlining stories.
That's true.
I totally just skipped over it.
Okay.
I suck. All right.
I honestly, I noticed that you skipped it, and I was like, oh, he's probably just trying to move it along.
I opened the links out of order.
Oh,
and
okay.
I meant to do. All right, Raven Ridge.
Raven Ridge.
Thank you for queuing that. That's also the last donation
Yes.
comment that we've had come in. So let's really quickly talk about Raven Ridge, because it has been spotted and confirmed. There's a Guru of 3D article about it. I'm glad that worked out though. So here's the Ryzen rollout that
Full circle.
AMD has been pitching specifically for this year, 2017, as well as the first half of 2018. And you might notice on the mobile side, for consumer mobile, we've got Ryzen listed here, as well as mobile Ryzen Pro listed over here. Now, desktop side, we're expecting, maybe potentially hoping, that they're going to be doing an APU launch over there as well. It seems like they should, because they've done the, I believe, Bristol Ridge APUs, which are based on older architecture. They don't have Zen in them, but there it is. Anyway, there's a couple database entries that have come up recently on CompuBench and GFX Bench that specifically list a couple APUs that have AMD Radeon Vega graphics and AMD Ryzen CPU cores. There's two of them specifically, the Ryzen 5 2500U that has Vega 8 mobile, and then this one here, the Ryzen 7 2700U with Vega 10 mobile in it. And there's the other one right there. So yeah, it's got Zen CPU, it's got a Vega graphics. The Raven Ridge is probably going to have a Zen CCX unit and a Vega graphics core with up to 12 next-gen compute units that would provide up to 768 stream processors. Obviously, as shown here, there might be a couple different versions of it. And that would give you up to 4 CPU cores, since it's got basically half of what exists in a full-size Ryzen CPU. And that's going to have, with SMT, up to 8 threads, up to 8 megabytes of L3 cache, dual channel DDR4. So the specs that you're already familiar with Ryzen CPUs, integrated with an APU with Vega just sort of attached and worked in there. The CPU communicates with the Vega GPU units via Infinity Fabric, the standard for communication between both internally in the CPUs themselves, as well as communication across platforms between CPUs and GPUs, as well as memory. And early pre-production samples have already been running up to 3 to 3.3 gigahertz. So it would be interesting to see socketed AM4 Raven Ridge Ryzen plus Vega APUs, pairing them up with like an inexpensive B350 motherboard or something like that. Could be a really cool entry-level gaming option. And we'll have to see what pricing is. It's difficult to say what power consumption is. Vega has not... Vega is actually a very efficient chip. It's just it can't be efficient and also run at speeds that are competitive with NVIDIA. And so AMD had to run it at much, much higher frequencies that are much less efficient. Like if you look at the performance efficiency curve for Vega, it's running way, way towards the wrong end of it, where it's not efficient at all, which is why power consumption numbers in a lot of the testing has been very different. If you underclock Vega to more reasonable frequencies, it's actually really good at staying power efficient and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, that is going to do it for my half of the show. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Johnson's?
Thumbs up button, of course. Actually, almost forgot Johnson's.
Johnson's,
Really-
Victor!
Really quickly, some Johnson
Thank you for
shout-outs.
picking up a BIOS Flasher shirt and a CPU Cooler shirt as well, my friend.
Lovely.
And then we've also got one from John. John, BIOS Flasher shirt. Thank you, John.
Okay.
Johnson to you, my friend.
I have one Johnson. A shout out for Zach. Thank you, Zach. He got the English pub glass.
Zach.
So thank you so much for grabbing that, Zach. Much obliged. Thank you guys for watching my half of the show. Of course, thumbs up button on the way out if you enjoyed it. And we'll be switching over to Kyle's half momentarily. The link to his half is in the video's description, so check that out. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll be right back.
Bye.
Bye-bye.